number 6. The sketched below are the graph of f of x and g of x. F of x is a parabola and g of x is an exponential graph, and both are given in standard form. We can see that this is a standard form and this also a standard form. Okay, both are given in standard form. Okay, and the parabola has intercepts. X intercepts are given minus 5, 0, that is this point, then minus 1, minus 1, 0, that is this point. Okay, and then exponential graph is passing through the point 0, 2, that is this point. This is a common point in both graphs, you can see that. And then another point, that is 1, 6. Okay, that next 2 points on exponential graph and 2 points on parabola, both are given. Okay, now question number 6.1. Guys, here the graph is already given, so you have to interpret, and sometimes you have to find the equations of the graph. That's how you get questions. Okay, graph is given, so 2 graphs are there. One is a parabola, other one is exponential graph. Clear? So when it comes to exponential graph, you need to know the general thing about exponential graph. Normally exponential graph equation is like this: g of x is equal to k times m to the power x. I'm just using like that. Then plus q is there. Here y is equal to q is the asymptotes. Okay, you know that exponential graph got an asymptotes, and the exponential graph always, when you draw it, you have to draw a horizontal asymptotes. And one graph, 2 types of exponential graphs are there. One is an increasing one, it will go like this, and the other one is decreasing one, like this. Clear? And this horizontal line y is equal to q is the equation of the asymptotes. Is it clear? And this graph does not have any axis of symmetry, and domain of this graph is whether it is increasing or decreasing. Domain is always minus infinity to plus infinity, or all the x values element of real number. This is the domain always. Okay, domain. And the range is always starting from q to infinity. Q to infinity, because this graph is starting from q. Q is an asymptote. So when you write a range, always you have to write y element starting number q to infinity, both are open bracket, because this graph never touch q, because at q it got a asymptote. So I'm talking about a exponential graph. And how do you determine the shape of the graph? Increasing one is looking at the base. If base is more than, here what is base? M, isn't it? If m is greater than 1, then the graph is increasing. If m is between 0 and 1, because m cannot be equal to negative number, then graph is decreasing. So in this case, in this graph, is it increasing or decreasing? You can see that graph is going up, isn't it? So this graph is increasing one. Is it clear? So these are the ideas you must have, especially equation of asymptotes is always y is equal to q. And what is q? Q is the next term after the exponential form. When it comes to this graph is what? G of x is equal to k times m to the power x, plus there is no number is given. Did you see that one? That number is not there, so you can just assume that is 0. So what is the equation of asymptotes here? Y is equal to 0. This is how you have to write. I think there is a question. Yeah, you can see that. See, equation of asymptotes is y is equal to q, but here q is 0 because there is no number after exponential form. Okay, sometimes a negative number, sometimes a positive numbers, so you have to just take it whatever is that as it is. Y is equal to that number. Since there is no number here, so 0 is the answer. Y is equal to 0. Is it clear now? Okay, now we can do this question one by one. All right, what is the first question? 6.1. Let me write it here. 6.1. Determine the equation of parabola, or you have to find what is a, b and c, isn't it? So Guys, parabola, you can see that what is given, x-intercepts are given. That is x-intercept, that is x1 is equal to minus 5 and x2 is equal to minus 1. So if x-intercepts and one more point are available, then the formula is y is equal to a times x minus x1 x minus x2. This is the formula that we are using. A times x minus x1 and x minus x2 both are multiplied. Both binomials are multiplied. And the reason why we need one more point apart from the intercepts, because you need to find the value of a. Okay, here x1 is minus 5 and x2 is minus 2. So let me substitute that one first. Y is equal to a bracket x minus 5 is plus 5. Then x minus 1 is plus 1. So this is the equation of parabola. Now the problem is a, because in the equation apart from x and y we don't need any other unknown, isn't it? Here one unknown is there, a. For finding a we are using that other point. What is the other point? This point, guys, y-intercept here. What is that point? X value 0, y value 2. So after substituting x1 and x2, put this point in the graph and find the value of a. Let me try. Y value become 2 and a is still there, then x0 plus 5, then again 0 plus 1, because x is 0. Now you can find the value of a. How do we get it? 2 is equal to a bracket 5, then 1. So 2 is equal to 5 times 1 is 5, so this side is 5a. Therefore a is equal to 2 divided by 5. We get it. 2 divided by 5. Is it clear? So a is positive. We already know that a is positive because this graph is a happy one, isn't it? So a is positive and we got it a positive. Now can you find the equation? Because a here, this is the equation, but there a was a problem. Now we got the value of a. So we can just rewrite it. Y is equal to, in the place of a you have to write 2 over 5, then x plus 5, x plus 1. Then open the bracket and arrange it, because they want the equation in this form, guys. So you don't leave the answer like that. So let me open the bracket with the FOIL method and keeping 2 over 5 as it is. So let me open it. X times x, x square, x times 1, x, then 5 times x, 5x, 5 times 1, 5. Okay, that is 2 over 5. Because 2 over 5 is there outside, that is why I'm still keeping that bracket there. X square, x plus 5x is 6x plus 5. Now open the bracket, so it's going to be, this is going to multiply each term inside the bracket, isn't it? So 2 over 5 x square plus 12 over 5, because 2 over 5 times 6 is 12 over 5x plus what? Next one is 2 over 5 times 5 is 10 over 5, which is going to be 2. Isn't it? So this is the equation. So this is how you have to find the value of, the equation of parabola. I hope you got it. So it's very important, because here the x-intercept and one more point. Sometimes on a parabola, turning point is given. Turning point is given. For example, if I write this one is a PQ, is the turning point, and one more point here. In this case, what is the formula? Y is equal to a bracket x minus p all square plus q. This is how you have to do it. So like what you did in this question, you have to first substitute p and q, because that one is given. Clear? Then after that, substitute this point to find a. The way I did this question, just idea is same, but the formula is this one. Don't forget that this formula we use it when we have what? Turning point and one more point. So this question we have x-intercept and one more point on parabola. On the parabola must be given. Is it clear now? Okay, let's go to the next question. All right, 6.2. What is 6.2? 6.2 is find the value of m and k. Where is m and k part of this equation, isn't it? What is that? Y. G of x is y, k times m to the power x, isn't it? Because we need to see x and y. That is why I changed the g of x to y, because we are using the method substitution method. So here on what is this graph? This is an exponential graph, and on that graph 2 points are already given. What are they? 0, 2 and 1, 6. By substitute 1 by 1 you will get it. So let me start with the 0, 2, because we have two unknowns are there. So we can use this point 0, 2 first to find one of the unknowns. So I will show that one. Y value is 2 is equal to k times m to the power 0, isn't it? Yes, that is 2 is equal to k times m to the power 0 is what? 1. Anything, we don't know what is m, but anything to the power 0 is 1 in mathematics. So now can we find the value of k? 2 is equal to k. We got it. The value of k is 2. Now the equation become y is equal to 2 times m to the power x, isn't it? 2 times m to the power x. Now one more unknown is there, that is m, that is the base. We already know that m is greater than 1 because that graph is increasing, isn't it? All right. So for finding that m, we are going to use the next point. What is that? 1, 6, because this point we used it already. So what two unknowns are there? We need 2 points. One unknown is there. We need 1 point. Substitute and get it. That's how we normally these things work. So 1, 6. Let me substitute to 1, 6. That is y value is 6. Y value is 6 is equal to 2 times m to the power. What is the x value? X value is 1. Isn't it? So we got it. That is 6 is equal to 2m. Therefore, m is equal to, send it to other side or divide both sides by 2. That is 6 divided by 2. So m is equal to 3. We already know that m must be greater than 1. So we got 3, which means our answer is we are not in the wrong way. Is it clear now? Okay. So the equation, because let me write the equation y. So sorry, g of x or y is equal to 2 times 3 to the power x. Do you see that one? 2 times 3 to the power x. That's how it is. Now 6.3, that question, very simple question. What is that? Write down the equation. We already did that one. Asymptotes of exponents. So g of x is equal to 2 times 3 to the power x is the equation. So what is the q value here? Since there is no number up, so we can see that 0 here. I can write it. So the value of q is 0, which means the equation of asymptotes. Asymptote is what? Horizontal asymptote. So it's going to start with the y. Y is equal to 0 is the answer. Okay, so this is 1 mark question. Y is equal to 0. All right. Now we move to the next question. What is that? Okay, the increasing inequality questions are there. Graphically, you have to get the answer. Determine the values of x for which f of x is decreasing. F of x is decreasing, guys. That is 6.4.1. 6.4.1. F of x. What is f of x? Parabola. Guys, increasing and decreasing. How do you know that one? When you look at from left to right on any graph, the graph is showing a tendency going down, means that graph is decreasing, and the graph is decreasing. The portion that I shaded now is decreasing portion, and this is a turning point. Turning point is stationary point. Okay, neither decreasing nor increasing. Then after that, graph is increasing. This is the increasing part of the graph. But here what we need, only decreasing part, the x values of the graph in the decreasing part. So just find out x values, decreasing part x values. So the x values are starting from where to where. Since this graph, look at that, guys, because already we identify the part of the graph. So this, do you know the x value of turning point? Because we have these two x intercepts, and this is the midpoint of -5 and -1. What is that? -5, -1 plus -5 divided by 2, isn't it? That is how we are finding the middle point, isn't it? That is -5 minus 5 plus minus 1 divided by 2, that is minus 6 divided by 2. So that will be minus 3. So this is minus 3. Okay, the x value of a turning point, we can get it if two x-intercepts are given. Or we can use the formula, because we already know the equation, minus b over 2a. Minus b over 2a also will help you. You will get the same answer, okay? So here, since the x-intercepts are given, we know that the midpoint of those two x values are the x value of the turning point. Now, look at the x values. See guys, this x values of this graph is going to starting from what? From minus infinity up until minus 3. But at minus 3 is what? Turning point graph is not increasing, not decreasing. Okay, so minus 3 you have to exclude it. So you have to use open bracket there. So the answer is all the x values starting from minus infinity up until minus 3, both are open. Don't put close bracket there, okay? That's how we do it. Is it clear now? All right, now we can move to question number 6.4.2. 6.4.2. That is also, we can do it by inspection. All right, question number 6.4.2. 6.4.2. What is that? 2, you have to find all the values of x where graph is in between 2 less than or equal to g of x less than or equal to what? 6. So how do you interpret this question? The graph only in between the value 2 and x. Remember, graph is the y value, isn't it? Graph is the y value. Or let me write this one: 2 less than or equal to y less than or equal to 6. Okay, so first you have to identify the part of the graph according to that condition. Where is the y value? 2 is this one. Look at here guys, this is 2. And y value 6 is where? This one, isn't it? This y value 6. So between these 2 points, what is the part of the graph? This part they are talking about. So just find out all the x values of that part, including x value of 2 and x value when y value 6 also we have to consider, because you see equal to sign here with the inequality, which means 2 and 6 also you have to consider. So at 2, what is the x value? X value is 0, isn't it? Because 2 is on y-axis. And at 6, what is the x value? Is 1, which means the x value is at all other portions, x values are there between 0 and 1. So you have to identify all the x values in that part of the graph where I shaded. So it's starting from 0. X values are starting from 0 to 1, close to bracket. So the answer is all the x values starting from 0 to 1, close to bracket, because inequality is with equal to sign. Or very same answer we can write it like this: 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. Both are correct. Is it clear now? All right. The next question is also a same type of question. What is that? Let me rub it. What is the next question? 6.4.3. G of x. Again graph. What is that graph? G of x. G of x is exponential graph, right? Okay, g of x is less than or equal to 2. Less than or equal to 2. G of x is same as what? Y less than or equal to 2. So find out the part or a portion of graph less than or equal to 2 means below 2. Where is 2? Y value 2 where? Here, isn't it? So g of x is exponential graph, isn't it? G of x is exponential graph. So g of x is below 2 means this portion is below 2, because 2 is this line guys. Y is equal to 2 means this line. So the graph below 2 is from here. So what are the x values? X values are starting from minus infinity up until x value, y value 2 means what is x value? 0. So minus infinity up until 0. That is the answer. And 0 also must be taken, because this inequality also contains what? Equal to sign. Therefore, what is the answer? All the x values starting from minus infinity up until 0, isn't it? So x value is starting from minus infinity up until 0. Open bracket and this side closed. Clear? So this is how you have to do it. So identify the part of the graph according to the condition, then find the x values from that part. That's it. That's how we do it. Same question next to one, 6.4.4. 6.4.4, what is that? F of x, that is parabola, times g of x. Whether it is times or division, the workings are same, okay? Division sign or multiplication sign in between, because here we are dealing with the sign. A sign means positive and negative. Less than 0. Less than 0 means two graphs are multiplied, answer must be negative. Okay, we already talked about positive and negative part of the graph. The graph above x-axis is positive, below x-axis negative. Okay, if both graphs are above x-axis means both of them are positive, which means their multiplication also positive. If both graphs are in a particular interval below x-axis, both of them are negative, their multiplication going to be positive again. But here we need what? Their multiplication must be negative, which means one in a particular, you have to find an interval where one graph above x-axis, the other one below x-axis. Can you find that interval on the x-axis? Let me rub this. Okay, if you look at from minus infinity, the interval from intervals we are taking on x-axis, okay? From minus infinity up to minus 5, this graph is positive, exponential is positive, parabola also positive, both are above x-axis. But from minus 5 to minus 1, what will happen? Parabola is negative under the x-axis and exponential graph over the x-axis, which means one is positive, other one negative. Then after minus 1, what will happen? Both are above the x-axis, which means we need the part of the graph from part of both graphs from minus 5 to minus 1, which means you can see that the exponential is positive part, then parabola is negative. I think you know the reason, because that graph is above x-axis whose y values are positive, the parabola below x-axis is y, because this is y values, we are dealing with the y values, okay? So here the answer is starting from minus 5 up until minus 1, that is the answer. There's no closed bracket because this inequality doesn't have equal to sign. So the answer is x value starting from minus 5 up until minus 1, open bracket, is the answer. So this is the language of graph, guys. Especially question like this, inequalities, things are very simple, but you have to understand the concept. Where is graph positive, where is graph negative? Above x-axis graph positive, below x-axis graph negative. I hope you know what is x-axis. That horizontal line which is passing through the origin, that is x-axis. Clear? Okay, then increasing and decreasing. Increasing and decreasing also we can easily understand. If you see graph goes down, when you look at from left to right, that graph is decreasing. That is the y value is going down. Then increasing means graph is going up. See, those two things, if you are good at this graph, questions are nothing, guys. All of you can do it. It's very simple. Now the next question, that is the simplest question. What is that? Average gradient. Average gradient, just use the formula, gradient formula that you learn in under what? Analytical geometry or coordinate geometry. What is the gradient formula? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. For that you need 2 points. Both of them are given. See, first point is minus 5, 0. Then next point is what they said, y-intercept. What is y-intercept of G is exponential graph. What is y-intercept? It is 0, 2. Isn't it? So just call first point x1, y1 and this one x2, y2. Then use gradient. That is the answer. Okay, so average gradient means you are using the gradient formula. That's it. And the definition of average gradient is it is the gradient of a line passing through this point. Okay, because those points are given on the non-linear graph or a curve graph. Here what is minus 5, 0 is where on parabola, and 0, 2 also on parabola, both graphs, isn't it? But average gradient is the gradient of a line passing through these 2 points. See, like this. So actually you are finding the gradient of the line where 2 points are available. You can get it easily. Okay, so let me write it that one here, 6.5. x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2, what is the formula? Average gradient formula is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So what is y2 is 2 minus 0 divided by what is x2, 0 minus minus 5. Minus 5 is plus 5. Is it clear? So the answer is 2 over 5, isn't it? Answer is 2 over 5. 2 over 5. So this is how we do this question. It's a very simple question, guys, and definitely you will get this kind of question. Maybe parabola, maybe turning point and one more point instead of x-intercepts, and that's how you will see. But the idea is same. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this question. Okay, let's go to the next one. Alright guys, let's do question number 7 of the very same question paper. We can do this question very fast. Okay, it's just a matter of a transformation, and you know that shifting left, right, up, down, you know those things. Left and right, what will happen? X values of the graph are affected. Okay, and the left means you have to add, right means you have to subtract, you have to do the opposite. Then up and down, normally y values, but we are doing that one at the end of the graph. Okay, so up means addition and down means subtraction. That's it. So here the graph is y is equal to, let me write it here, y is, that is 7.1 I'm doing now. Y is equal to b to the power x, b to the power x. So what type of graph is this one? Can you guess? It's an exponential graph, isn't it? Because x is in the power position. Okay, and what will happen? The graph is shifted 2 units to the right, means you have to subtract 2 from x, and 4 units upwards means you have to add 4 at the end. That's it. So it's going to be y is equal to b to the power 2 units to the right means you have to subtract. Don't add, you have to subtract because you are changing x. Left and right movements, x values are affected, but in the opposite way. Right means you have to subtract x minus 2. Then 4 units upwards means you have to add 4. Clear? We are done. So we are done that the transformation. Okay, now this graph is passing through the point 4, 8. Okay, I remember I told you in the previous question, here what is the main challenge? B. It's only one unknown, so we need one point. That point is given. This shifted graph, that is this graph, is passing through the point 4, 8. So what are you going to do? Take the point and substitute and find the value of b, that is 7.1. It's a very simple question. Y value is going to be 8, b to the power x value is going to be 4 minus 2 plus 4. Now how do you do it? Remember, this is you are finding the base, isn't it? So first you have to send a 4 other side, this term 4 other side, that is 8 minus 4 is equal to b to the power 2. Clear? Okay, so what is 8 minus 4 is going to be 4. B square is equal to 4. Therefore, what is b? Square root of, square other side, square root, you know that 4. And plus or minus 2 you will get it, but remember base is always positive, therefore base is equal, b is equal to what? 2. This is how you do the answer. Clear? Then 7.2, 1 mark question, just a matter of rewriting that. Hence write down the equation completely, the shifted graph. The problem was b. Now we know what is b? 2. So the graph will become, this is the graph guys, where b replace it, that is y is equal to 2 to the power x minus 2 plus 4 is the answer. So we are done. 2 questions. Very quick. Thank you.